Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1919B, and today's date is July 17th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Trump Sends a Message, Deep State Relays Instructions to Big Tech. Now, before I get started, I want to talk about emergencies, disasters. When an emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? If your answer is to run to the grocery store, you'll likely find chaos and nothing but empty shelves. How do you avoid this? It's simple. You use today to make a plan, to prepare. I trust and use my Patriot Supply for my food storage. Have you seen the 2-week food supply in a locking tote from my Patriot Supply? If not, get online now and get a few. And save $62 off the regular price of this 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithx22.com. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, the deep state, they are preparing for the Patriot booms. And there's no way to avoid what is coming. And it's coming. This is why the deep state players are making moves to protect themselves. We'll be talking about this a little later in this report. But first, the New York Times put out a strange opinion piece, and I believe they are now preparing for a new candidate to enter the presidential ring. Now, this is coming out of the New York Times, and it says, Trump's going to get reelected, isn't he? And it reads as follows. Voters have reason to worry. I'm struck at how many people have come up to me recently and said, Trump's going to get reelected, isn't he? In each case, when I drill down to ask why, I bumped into Democratic presidential debates in June. I think a lot of Americans were shocked by some of the things they heard there. I was shocked that so many candidates in the party whose nominees I was planning to support want to get rid of private health insurance covering some 250 million people and have Medicare for all. Instead, I think we should strengthen Obamacare and eventually add a public option. And the article goes on and on and on describing how many people are unhappy with these candidates. Now, what's very interesting is that the Democratic candidates, they're all duds. There's infighting, they have trouble drawing crowds, and these individuals, they're not doing it. I know the mainstream media is continually showing how great their poll numbers are, but we have to remember these are fake, phony, and false. What's very interesting about all of this is that Obama, he's been around the campaign circuit, and they keep repeating that Obama, he's had no scandals during his presidency. I wouldn't be surprised if all these candidates were put out there knowing they were duds, and then at the last minute have someone unexpected come out of the shadows. My guess, I believe it's going to be Michelle Obama to challenge Trump. I believe this is what the deep state is holding back on. And at the right time, she will throw her hat in the ring. And she will try to challenge Trump because this is all they have right now. Because everything else they're trying is failing. Now, since Trump put out those tweets where the mainstream media, politicians, they went absolutely crazy saying that these are racist tweets, he's a racist. And we know that Pelosi, she's out there and she started to push this resolution. And something happened along the way while she was trying to push this resolution. Pelosi was on the House floor pushing a resolution that Trump is a racist and he needs to stop his racist tweets. She said, there's no excuse for any response to those words but a swift and strong unified condemnation. Every single member of this institution, Democrat and Republican, should join us in condemning the president's racist tweets. To do anything less would be a shocking rejection of our values and a shameful abdication of our oath of office to protect the American people. I urge a unanimous vote and yield back the balance of my time. Now, she gave this speech while she was on the House floor, and House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer scolded Speaker Pelosi for accusing Trump of making racist comments, then storming off the House floor. The House ruled that Pelosi's accusations of racism against President Trump violated the House chamber's rules. Representative Collins demanded that Pelosi remarks be taken down. Take a listen to what happened during this whole entire time where they were deciding what to do with Pelosi.
The chair is prepared to rule. The chair is prepared to rule. The words of the gentlewoman from California contain an accusation of racist behavior on the part of the president, as memorialized in Daschle's Precedents, Chapter 29, Section 65.6, characterizing an action as racist is not in order. The chair relies on the precedent of May 15, 1984, and finds that the words should not be used in debate. What purpose does the gentleman from Georgia rise?
Mr. Speaker, I have a motion at the desk.
Clerk will report the motion.
Mr. Collins of Georgia moves that the words of the gentlewoman from California be stricken from the record.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. No. The nays have it.
Speaker, I request the yeas and nays. Mr. Speaker,
The gentleman from Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are ordered. All those in favor of that, please rise. Obviously, a sufficient number having arisen. The vote will be taken by electronic device. The yeas and nays are ordered.
Now, as you can see, they really don't care that she violated the rules. They allowed her to speak again. They didn't strike her remarks. And it really didn't matter. Because, again, they're on a different agenda. So Pelosi is allowed to violate House rules without fear of reprisal, as her own caucus puts on a clown show, acting like they care about decorum and laws, but they really don't. Now, Representative Collins is out there saying that they can't even read the title of the resolution. This is how ridiculous this whole entire thing is. Take a listen.
To get this president, they actually passed a resolution that they cannot read on the floor of the House. That shows you how bad
What
this
do you
is.
mean?
That means that they can't read the title of the resolution, which is exactly what her words were based on.
Because it would have condemned the president.
Condemn the president's racist tweets. When you cannot attribute motive or personalities to the president, calling him a racist on the floor of the House is not allowed by our rules. The resolution itself has problems in it, and we pointed this out in the Rules Committee before it ever came to the floor. This is nothing but to get the president to make a mockery of their own leadership abilities because they don't like this president. That's all this is about.
Well, the title that you're talking about, it's House Resolution 489, and the title is Condemning President Trump's Racist Comments Directed at Members of Congress.
That is correct.
They can't say it.
Now, as you can see, according to Collins, they can't even read the resolution. The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. Trump tweeted out the following. So great to see how unified the Republican Party was on today's vote concerning statements I made about 4 Democratic congresswomen. If you really want to see statements, look at the horrible things they said about our country, Israel, and much more. They are now the top, most visible members of the House Democrats, who are now wedded to this bitterness and hate. The Republican vote was 187 to 4. Wow. Also, this was the first time since 1984 that the Speaker of the House was ruled out of order and broke the rules of the House. Quite a day. Think about what Trump did. Think about what we said yesterday. This was all done on purpose to expose these individuals and make them the face of the Democratic Party, the face of hate, the face of racism. And everyone is looking at this. This was all done on purpose. This was part of the plan. Now, what's very interesting is that more and more information is coming out of the darkness, moving into the light about Representative Omar. David Steinberg has been investigating Representative Omar, and this is what he's found. After several years of avoiding the subject, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune published a report on Representative Omar, her tax fraud crimes, her illegal use of campaign funds to cover travel costs, and touched on her alleged marriage to her younger brother. Investigative journalist David Steinberg, who has been covering the incredible story for years, commented on the report today. He said, according to the official student enrollment records, archived by St. Paul Public Schools and the state of Minnesota, and Ahmed N. Elmi was enrolled as a senior in the class of 2003 at Arlington Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. From September 6, 2002 until June 10, 2003, he graduated and received a diploma. The enrollment record states that Ahmed N. Elmi was born on April 4, 1985. Both Ilan's Omar's 2009 marriage documents and her 2017 divorce proceedings state that Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi was born on April 4, 1985. After an extensive background search, I have not been able to find any other person named Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi, Ahmed N. Elmi, or even Ahmed Elmi with the birth date of April 4, 1985. The man Ilan Omar married and the 17 to 18-year-old who attended Arlington Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota in 2002 to 2003 are one and the same. It is also clear that her brother husband, Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi, has an almost identical name to her father, Nur Saeed Elmi Muhammad. Investigative reporter Paul Sperry tweeted out the following. If Omar committed immigration fraud, she also committed passport fraud and tax fraud and campaign fraud. If she in fact did commit immigration fraud, she may indeed have to go back to Somalia, but will DHS, DOS, IRS, and or even the FEC investigate her? So there's a lot of evidence right now, and things are not making sense in the way her family came to this country. And there are many, many different anomalies that need to be investigated by the FEC, FBI, or any other organization. Now, Q has been talking a lot about Planned Parenthood, and Q has told us that they'll be back in the news. We come to find out that Leana Wen has been removed from her position 8 months into the job. Now, Wen was forced out of her position on Tuesday, citing philosophical differences. In a public statement posted to Twitter, it is unknown if these differences were political or medical in nature. But what's very interesting is that Planned Parenthood did not cite similar philosophical issues. And in their statement, Planned Parenthood said the following: "We thank Dr. Leana Wen for her service to Planned Parenthood in such a pivotal time and extend our best wishes for her continued success. We are pleased to announce that Alexis Jill Johnson has been named acting president, effective immediately. Alexis is a renowned social justice leader, lifelong political organizer, and a tireless advocate for health care. Johnson has served on a Planned Parenthood's board for nearly a decade and served as a board chair from 2013 to 2015. Now remember, last month, Trump was given the green light to end federal funding to Planned Parenthood. And we can see that there are changes happening. Why is this happening? We don't know as of yet. But let's go back to post 3415. Q gives us a link to Life News saying that Trump can now defund Planned Parenthood. And Q says, in brackets, all bold caps, Planned Parenthood news, more coming. So I do believe there's going to be a lot more coming from Planned Parenthood. Now, very interestingly, a federal judge said on Wednesday that the federal investigators have finished their investigation into campaign finance violations committed by Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen over payments made to women alleging affairs with Trump. Now, Judge William H. Pauley III wrote in an order issued in the Southern District of New York that the government now represents that it has concluded the aspects of its investigation that justified the continued sealing of the portions of the materials relating to Cohen's campaign finance violations. The campaign finance violations discussed in the materials are a matter of national importance. Now that the government's investigation into those violations has concluded, it is time that every American has an opportunity to scrutinize the materials. The filing signals that the federal investigators has wrapped up their probe in relation to Cohen and other Trump Organization executives' potential involvement in the payments. Now, a judge has also ordered the unsealing of records related to Michael Cohen, now that prosecutors have concluded a spin-off investigation of the Trump Organization with no charges. So, what we're looking at here is another part of the witch hunt has come to an end. What does this mean? No additional Trump Organization execs, including Don Jr., will be charged in the investigation. And the judge says, okay, we're going to release all the information. It's going to be completely unredacted, and we're going to allow people to read this. Now, if there was actually something there, the deep state would have leaked all of this out. It would have been all over the mainstream media because they would have built up to this, which this whole thing tells me that there's nothing there, which means another dead end for the deep state. Like I've said before Trump was asked to do this, the military, those patriots, they went through everything that he had with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that he was absolutely clean, that there was nothing there, that every time they tried to do something, it would be a dead end. And this is what we've been seeing. Russian collusion, dead end. Obstruction, dead end. Campaign finance violations, dead end. This is a dead end. They're all dead ends. They can't find anything. Trump tweeted out the following. The Democrats in Congress are getting nothing done. Not on drug prices, not on immigration, not on infrastructure, not on nothing. So much opportunity, yet all they want to do is go fishing. The American people are tired of the never-ending witch hunt. They want results now. Now, strange that Trump mentioned the word fishing. Let's go back to post 1840. This was August 2018. And this has brackets. The first letter is bold, the rest aren't, and it says fish. And then after the brackets, it says ing. So fishing is fun. These people are stupid. Post 2249. It says, how do you catch a fish? Use bait. Now let's think about this for a second. Trump mentioned that all they want to do is go fishing. So we can look at this and say, part of the plan is to have the deep state, the Dems, go fishing and waste all their time. Think about what is happening right here. Think about exposure. Trump is telling the country that nothing is being done. Everyone's looking at Congress, and all they see is impeachment hearing 1, 2, 3. Let's pass a resolution because of racist comments. Let's look into Trump's finances. Let's look into the campaign finances. Let's redo the Mueller investigation. I do believe the Patriots are continually dangling the bait to have them actually do all of this, so Trump and the Patriots can show what their true agenda is. Think about it. Do you think all this is happening by accident? And every time they come up with nothing, it's a dead end, Trump just says, look again, look what they just did. The same thing is going to happen with the tax returns. It is bait. All of this is bait. And guess what? They're falling for it every single time. Beautiful. Now, something very interesting is happening with the Flynn case. A D.C. federal judge has ordered Michael Flynn's former attorneys to appear in court next month after Flynn's current legal counsel claims they haven't been given the entire case by the team at Cummington and Burling. Judge Emmett Sullivan, an Obama appointee, scheduled a status conference for August 27th at 11 a.m. and has invited a senior legal ethics counsel to weigh in on the conversation. Now that's very interesting. An ethics, a senior legal ethics counsel to weigh in on the situation. Judge Sullivan wrote the following. In light of the representations made by defense counsel regarding the delay in receiving the client files, the court hereby gives notice to the parties of the court's intent to invite senior legal ethics counsel for the District of Columbia Bar to attend the status conference and explain on the record the applicable District of Columbia rules of professional conduct. Brian Cates wrote the following in a tweet. The freaking judge is asking the Senior Legal Ethics Counsel for D.C. to be there for this hearing. This is highly unusual. So yes, it's significant. And I do believe it is. We'll have to see what comes out of this. Now let's talk about Epstein. The mainstream media, they have finally linked Trump to Epstein. They got him. Or did they? Now, this is very interesting. The mainstream media obtained a video of Trump talking to Jeffrey Epstein in 1992 at a party. And they're acting like this will finally be the one thing that takes down the president. So wait a minute. At Mar-a-Lago, there was a party with many people there, and Jeffrey Epstein was one of them. And Trump spoke to him in 92. This is before everything. And this is what the mainstream media, the deep state, they like to do. They like to show pictures, and that's it. And then they say, okay, look, he spoke to him, so now he's involved with Epstein. They did this with Syria, where they showed children that are gassed, people that were gassed, and they said it has to be Assad. They never make the link. There's no link here. All they're doing is showing a picture of someone at a party. Think about that for a second. For someone to prove something, you need to show proof and links. You just can't show a picture and say, yes, he's guilty. It's almost like a murder trial where someone holds up a picture of a dead body and says, that is the person that killed this person, and then they sit down. They show no proof, no links, nothing. So the mainstream media, the deep state, they're hoping that people just take this headline and they believe it. This is what they do. But when you start to question it and you start to look into it, there's nothing there. Actually, what they're really doing is saying, look over here, not over there. Isn't it strange that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he found out that he was trying to pick up and have sex with an underage girl? Isn't it strange that Trump is not on the flight logs of Epstein's Lolita Express? Isn't it strange how Trump is never visited Epstein's island? Isn't it strange how Clinton appears on the flight logs? Isn't it strange how Clinton visited Epstein Island? Isn't it strange that there are a number of people that are in contact with Epstein where we show links, but the mainstream media does not report any of this because they want you to look over here, not over there. Now, what's very interesting is that the deep state players, they're trying to distance themselves from Epstein. They're using words like, I was conned, I didn't know, I was tricked. Now, this is not a surprise. Adam Schiff is completely panicking. He tweeted out the following: I am gravely concerned about the threat of deep fakes. A well-timed, convincing fake video of a candidate could hijack the 2020 election and even change the course of history. I sent letters to Facebook, Twitter, Google, urging them to plan ahead. So, translation. Listen, there's going to be a lot of fake videos coming out. It's going to be me, other people that I know because I was down there, and we need a way to stop all of this. So I'm looking to you, big tech. What are you going to do about it? My suggestion, this is coming from Schiff, I suggest you ban all these videos and censor them so they don't get out there. This is panic right here. And believe me, he's not going to be the only one. There are many individuals in high places. When more information comes out, when videos are mentioned, guess what? These people are going to say these are deep fakes. Remember, Q told us multiple times in the past to expect this. And here we are today. Now, let's talk about these strange power outages. So far, there's been 3. The first one was in New York, around 42nd Street, and Q came online and said, listen, how do you get rid of a liability? And Q was suggesting that they were trying to use this power outage, or maybe it failed, to try to get rid of Epstein. Then we had a power outage in D.C., and now there was one in Staten Island. Now, this might just be a coincidence, or it might be that the deep state, they are trying to push the next event. Now, I know in past posts, Q says, listen, we are protected. They can't shut down the power. There will be no blackouts. But it seems like the deep state, they might be planning something, because we're starting to see quite a few of these. And this is something I believe we need to watch. Now, Trump tweeted out a video today, and there are a couple messages within the video. First, there are fire engines with a flag between the ladders. And this is actually a Q proof. Let's go back to Q's post. Now, in this post, and this is post 1332, it reads as follows. Fellow patriots, what you are about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control. This is in brackets bold, freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, brackets bold, pure evil, abuse of power that Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There is no stopping it now. D5. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. United we stand, worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. We fight. Conspiracy no more. Now, I do believe Trump was sending this message to have us go back to post 1332, letting us know the avalanche is here and everything is about to change. Something big is about to happen. Now, this Q proof shows two fire engines with their ladders up holding the American flag. Now, Trump tweeted out on behalf of the American people, welcome home. And he tweeted this out. And what's very interesting about all of this is that this post is number 74 in a Q post. And the fire engine has the letter Q and the number 74. Now, Anons discovered that this out-of-place letter on a fire truck used in POTUS video, well, it doesn't really happen that often. They can't find any other examples of this, but it showed up in Trump's video. Now, Trump put this video out once again, telling us to go back to this post, which is letting us know there's something coming and it's going to be huge. Now, with this video that Trump put out, it's showing all Americans, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, just everyone living here legally. It doesn't matter. What Trump is saying that we're all Americans, we need to come together and fight those who are trying to push their agendas. At the end of the video, he then trolls the squad by saying the following: America, one squad under God. And Trump is letting us know, and I do believe this is a message to all of us, that everything is about to happen. The avalanche, D5, is about to hit. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.